Hi, I'm Mark, and this is a Bible Moment. A blessing once removed. Anyone with enough wisdom to look carefully will see that God has blessed us many times over. But what happens when that blessing is no longer in our day-to-day sight? Do we remember that God has been gracious enough to give us the blessing to begin with? Or are we angry with God for taking away what we have laid claim to? Now let us look into the life of a man who had been greatly blessed and then had those blessings taken away. I'm speaking, of course, of Job. Join me now in Job chapter 1 in verse 14. Job 1:14. And there came a messenger unto Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the asses feeding beside them, and the Sabaeans fell upon them and took them away. Yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the fire of God hath fallen from heaven, and hath burned up the sheep and these servants, and consumed them, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. And while he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the Chaldeans made out 3 bands, and fell upon the camels, and have carried them away, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in the eldest brother's house. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness, and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. And Job arose and rent his mantle, and shaved his head, and fell down upon the ground, and worshipped, and said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. In all this Job sinned not, nor charged God foolishly. Now it's difficult for many people today to understand Job's answer. But that's because they do not know God the way that Job did. You see, God loves us. We are His creation. And all that He gives us, and all that He takes away, is always to our spiritual benefit. If you read to the end, you will find that God had actually cured Job of a spiritual malady, the malady of pride. Further, He returned the physical blessings that Job had lost. In fact, God gave him back twice as much, with one notable exception, that being his children, Job 42:12 and 13. When we look at the life of Job, we ask ourselves a question. If God takes away our blessings, if something has been such a blessing in our life, and it's suddenly not there, do we thank God that we had it to begin with? Or do we curse God for taking it away? Think about it. I'm Mark, and this has been a Bible Moment.